Hello and welcome to my channel, Breaking the Alcohol Illusion and Silencing Alcohol Noise. Today, I want to talk to you about boundaries. Boundaries, why they matter, and what you're actually putting boundaries around. Now, often you hear about putting boundaries around alcohol, about how much you're going to drink and when you're going to drink, and setting limits and those types of boundaries. Now, they are not the boundaries that you actually need if you want to make long-term drinking changes to your drinking. You don't need boundaries around the problem. And alcohol you're drinking is the problem. So you don't want to try to contain the problem and keep it safe within walls that you can manage it. That's not life as it's supposed to be. What you need to do is to put boundaries around the solution. And the solution to your drinking is you. The solution to your drinking is your awareness, your self-love, your self-care, and the strategies that you use, whether they're around rest or nutrition or time out, whatever it is that you need to protect, to keep you safe and strong in yourself, that's where you need to put a boundary. Because when your boundaries around yourself, the solution, are strong, the problem doesn't even come into your thinking. It doesn't, the belief that alcohol is any sort of solution doesn't need to come up because you have kept yourself in the solution. You've kept yourself supported. You've kept the lines of communication open. You've kept yourself comforted. You've taken care of when you eat, what you drink, your hydration, how much time you get outside, who you deal with, what you say yes to, what you say no to. You create that core of sense of self that is when you are at your most resilient. And when you are at your most resilient, when you are in peace and in balance, the desire for alcohol isn't there, and alcohol becomes a choice, not a need. Boundaries around alcohol, on the other hand, are you trying to contain your drinking, which on some days you can manage and on other days you can't, because on some days your needs are so unmet that alcohol, whilst you have the belief that alcohol is any sort of solution, comes to the forefront strongly. And the more your needs are not met, and they've got to be met by you, the stronger the desire for alcohol is. You don't go to that bottle of wine in the evening with the intention of getting drunk, behaving badly, not remembering what you've said, going to bed, getting up in the morning with a headache, feeling guilty, feeling low, feeling depressed and ashamed of yourself. You don't drink for that reason. That's the result of your drinking. The intention behind that first glass is comfort. Even if that comfort is as small, except it's not small, as quietening down the alcohol noise, that battle that's going on in your head that no one else can see and you can really feel, and you just want it to be quiet. You just want it to stop. When you're putting boundaries around alcohol, your focus very much is on avoiding a source of comfort. When you put boundaries around yourself and your needs, you are delivering comfort, and alcohol does not come into play in this mind battle in any way. You don't have to never drink again. It doesn't have to be a never again solution. I was an alcoholic for 29 years, most of my adult life. I'm 61 now. And I stopped drinking 9 years ago when I stopped fighting, when I started to understand why I was thinking and feeling in the way I was at certain times, and then joining the dots and recognizing that there were certain thoughts and feelings that took me closer to alcohol, and certain thoughts and feelings that allowed me to stay away. But of course, over time, waking up feeling guilty and ashamed of myself every day, the good thoughts and feelings weren't there very often. And then I began to believe that alcohol had a power over me, a control I didn't understand, which created more thoughts and fearful thinking, which took me back to alcohol over and over again. It's not hard to change your drinking. It's actually very simple. It's understanding that at some point you have learned to believe that alcohol is a source of comfort, and I call that the alcohol illusion, the illusion of comfort. And when you are in need of comfort, whatever that means, that can mean, as I say, rest, nutrition, hydration, connection, numbing out painful memories, that's still feeling better than the way you're feeling in the moment. The intention behind your drinking is always to make you feel better. The result the next morning is you feel worse. So we must change the conversation around how to break free from the alcohol illusion, how to find peace and control around alcohol. I now drink socially and occasionally. I don't think about alcohol other than in the context of my work. There's no mind battle. It's a choice. It's never a need. It's never a bottle. I never wake up with a hangover. I never wake up feeling guilty or ashamed. Alcohol to me is a drink that I occasionally have on a sunny day or it's a celebration. That's it. That's all. Because I no longer hold the belief that alcohol is any form of comfort. I don't hold any beliefs about alcohol any longer. What I really understand is I have these beliefs about myself. So, short and sweet today. The next time you go to put boundaries around alcohol, you need to shift that thinking. You need to shift the conversation. You need to remember that you drink in a way you do not like with the intention of offering yourself comfort, connection, support, wholeness, whatever it is you're lacking in the moment. And you can use the desire to drink as a really good chunk of information. Okay, so I'm not feeling so good now. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? The more you understand yourself, the deeper you go into the wonder of you in awareness, the more obvious the sober path is. And it is really flipping obvious. Can't see it in front of your eyes, but you can see it and feel it behind your eyes. And every time you get another chunk of awareness, like, okay, I can do it, because it's not struggle, it's not fight, it's not resistance, it's not even being mindful or limiting alcohol. It's got nothing to do with alcohol. Alcohol's the awareness that something's going wrong. You figure that out, that's easy. How am I feeling? What am I thinking? How do I cope in this situation? Do I feel like I cope well? And you're okay, so this doesn't work for me. So you then create a boundary around the solution, yourself, which will stop the illusion of alcohol being a source of comfort even coming up. And the more you do it, and the more you learn to trust yourself, the less the thoughts of alcohol or with any sort of desire come up anyway. If you think about alcohol and there's no pull towards it, no fight against it, great, you're a normal drinker again. It's nothing. You only struggle whilst you hold the belief that alcohol is a source of comfort. I call that the alcohol illusion. And it is the alcohol illusion of comfort that creates that mind battle, not alcohol. Alcohol has no power over you. It never did. It never will. And the key, or one of the most important keys, is to create boundaries around yourself. Solution. The answer is in I need, I feel, I think. Switching those round to thoughts, feelings, acknowledging and acting on your needs. Keep the boundaries around yourself, keep them strong, and forget boundaries around alcohol, because you are wasting your energy and you're trying to get to where you want to be the longest way. Well, I've got the shortest and quickest way, and it's called the Simply Sober Path. So if you enjoyed this, if this resonated with you, please like it, share, and follow me here. And if you know of anyone else who is struggling, who is confused by their drinking, because that's one of the biggest problems. We're so confused why we continue to do something which we know harms us, and yet we feel anxious and stressed about not having. It's all a bit of a mind. Well, it literally is a mind mess, but I know the answer. So I hope that was helpful. As I said, like and share and follow me. And anyone you think that this might be of benefit to, please pass it on. Have a miraculous day.